Alrighty, everybody. Welcome in to this is Shun Domain. I'm This is Timed, and today we are reading chapters 31 and 30 and 31. Sorry, and maybe if there's time and I don't, hold on a second. What's going on in the background? 30 and 31. Sorry. No, right there. All right. So so today we're reading chapters 30 and 31, and then if I have the time, because I was looking at it, I might go into reading 33. I mean, 32, not 33. 32. So, I'm just gonna get started here. So, um, this just seems like at this point, from what I'm reading here, this is a lot of stuff that God wanted for the altar, at this point. And also when I look at it over on this page, 31 is pretty short, so we'll probably read 32. Um, Depending on how much I talk to, because I have been talking a lot during these and breaking it down for you guys, but giving my opinion on real life events. All right. All right. So chapter 30, the altar of incense. Make an altar of acacia wood, for burning incense. It is to be square, a cubit long, and a cubit wide, and 2 cubits high. Its horns of one piece with it. Sorry, I'm just so congested right now. Like, I'm not necessarily congested, but I'm still feeling, I'm not feeling sick or anything, but I'm still, when I wake up, have a really weird feeling. So, it's congestion. So, overlay the top and all the sides and the horns with pure gold, and make a gold molding around it. Make 2 gold rings for the altar below the molding, 2 on each side of the opposite side. To hold the poles, used to carry it, make the poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Put the altar in front of the curtain that shields the ark of the covenant law. Before the atonement, cover that is over the tablets of the covenant law, where I meet with you. Aaron must burn fragrant incense on the altar every morning when he tends the lamps. He must burn incense again when he lights the lamps at twilight. So incense will burn regularly before the Lord of the generations to. Huh. Do not offer on this altar any other incense or any burnt offering or grain offering, and do not pour a drink offering on it. Once a year, Aaron shall make atonement on its horns. This annual atonement must be made with blood for atoning sin offering for generations to come. It is most holy to the Lord. So, he wanted this, the Lord wanted this, he wanted an altar for incense. So, he want that made. He wants, so this is pretty much, he's building a church. So this is how, I guess this is how churches came about from the sounds of it. Because back in the day, I don't know if they had churches, but they did, as you can see, a lot of people understood that the Lord existed. So I believe what they're doing is they're building a full church here, and that is why we're seeing all this stuff being built, and they're talking about this stuff because the next one is atonement money. So that means that would be the donation plate they send around in the church that goes to the church and all that. So atonement money. Then the Lord said to Moses, when you take census of the Israelites to count them, each one of them must pay the Lord a ransom for his life at the time he is counted. Then no plague will come on them when you number them. Each one with crosses over their each one who crosses over to those already counted is giving is given half a shekel, is to give half a shekel. According to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs, this half shekel is offering to the Lord who cross over those 20 years old or more are giving offering to the Lord, which are rich not to give more than half a shekel, and the poor are not to give less when you make the offering to the Lord. To atone your lives, receive the atonement money from the Israelites and use it for the service of the tent. It will be a memorial for the Israelites before the Lord, making atonement for your lives. So, yeah, that was I want to say that's the donation plate of a church. And so, basin for washing. So, then the Lord said to Moses, make a bronze basin with bronze stand for washing. Place it between the tent of meeting and the altar and put water in it. Aaron and his sons are to wash their hands and feet with water from it. Whenever they enter the tent of meeting, they shall wash with water so that they will not die. Also, when they approach the altar, two ministers, by presenting a food of fearing the Lord, they shall wash their hands and feet, so that they will not die. This is to be the lasting ordinance of Aaron and his descendants for the generations to come. So, man, I'm having a rough time here. My nose itches now. I'm having to clear my throat. Just a bunch of nonsense right now. Let me see if I have any water around here, because I usually do have water sitting around. I don't see it right now. I'll just continue reading. So, oh, my water is out there. All right. Actually, let me go get some water and I'll be right back. Yeah, as you can see, I'm I'm gonna clean this up today, so you won't see this in back. This is just me being lazy. So, oh my, that's a lot better because now I feel like I can talk. That's usually why I put water by me, because like after I drink like coffee or an energy drink, I usually have to clear out my throat with water because it makes it easier for me to talk and all that. So, atoning oil. Then the Lord said to Moses, take the following fine pieces, 500 shekels of liquid myrrh, half as much, that is 250 shekels of fragrant cinnamon, 250 shekels of fragrant cal cal calamus, 500 shekels of cassia, all according to the sanctuary shekel, and a hin of olive oil. Make these into a sacred atoning oil, a fragrant blend, the work of a perfume. It will be sacred. It will be the sacred atoning oil. Then use it to atone the tent of meeting, the ark of the covenant law, the table and all its articles, the lampstand and its accessories, the altar of incense, the altar of burnt offering, and all the utensils, and the basin with its stand. You shall consecrate them, so they will be the most holy, and whatever touches them will be holy. So anything that it touches this atoning oil is apparently very, very holy. Anytime it touches the oil, if that makes sense. Atoning, anoint Aaron and his sons, and consecrate them, so they may serve me as a priest. Say to the Israelites, this is to be my sacred atoning oil for the generation to come. Do not pour it onto anyone else's body, and do not make any other oil using the same formula. It is sacred, and you are to consider it sacred. Whoever makes perfume like it and puts it on anyone other than the priest must be cut off from their people. So God's pretty much like, if you mess around here, you're gonna get cut off from your people, because I'm telling you that this is sacred. So if you mess up this, I'm cutting you off from your people. I don't you know, that's pretty much the way that sounds to me. Like, the Lord just doesn't like people doing stuff with sacred oils or anything like that. That is, something he likes to do. That just, it's important to him that we follow those rules, and when we don't, if you mess around, hey, the Lord's gonna be like, okay, I'm cutting you. You're cutting yourself off from these people because you did that to me. So, incense. Then the Lord said to Moses, take fragrant spice, gum, resin, oincha, and gabalion, and pure frankincense, all in equal amounts, and make a fragrant blend of incense, the work of a perfume. It is to be salted and pure and sacred. Grind some of its powder and place it in front of the ark of the covenant law in the tent of meeting, where I meet with you. It shall be the most holy to you. Do not make the incense with this formula for yourselves. Consider it holy to the Lord. Whoever makes incense will make it to enjoy its fragrance must be cut off from their people. Alright, so now we're on to 31. So the Lord made all this stuff for, like, it seemed like a church. And it's very important to follow. Let's go back to the atoning oil. The atoning oil was very, very sacred. This is a place where you go in and you have to do things a certain way, a certain order for the Lord. There's some point, I think later on in the Bible, if I remember correctly, where there's this guy, he goes in and he just starts burning incense, and people go into the God's temple and get extremely mad at him for burning incense, because he just did it whenever he wanted. You just don't go in there and burn incense whenever you want. No offense, but like, if I built a temple for God, and God wanted things done a certain way, like this was an example going back to the atoning oil. He said, if this oil goes on to anybody else besides Aaron and his sons, they're getting cut off from their people. That would be rough. And that's something like, it's very powerful when the Lord tells you stuff like that, or like there is stuff that you need to follow by the Lord, it's highly suggested you do so. You don't mess around with that stuff. Because when you mess around with that stuff, I had incidences in my life where I said I got mad. I was mad yesterday. I don't know what was going on with me. It feels like somebody, you know, prayed for me, but on top of it, my heart got hardened when they prayed for me. So that's what it felt like. And I think it was like all day yesterday, all day. And I don't know what that was about. But I got to work and I just wasn't feeling up to par. Like I was angry, man. I was just angry and it didn't even feel like being there. That's how bad it was. And luckily towards the evening, um, I told somebody. I was like, man, I've been feeling mad all day today. My heart got hardened, and then after I said that to them, the everything just like kind of like died off, and my feelings changed a little bit, and everything started feeling better. So I don't know if somebody said a prayer for me and said it the wrong way or something. If you did, thank you for trying to help, but you kind of did it in a way that was rough. And maybe it's because I needed a prayer said that was to protect my to protect my blessings. So that's how that could have came about because I didn't think about that. I said I needed a prayer request, and then I got a prayer request. I said I needed a prayer request for God to protect my blessings, and I guess God hardened my heart when it came down to it, and just to protect my blessings. So, um, but going back to what I said, yeah, this stuff can get very powerful. But like I reached out because like I don't know, I was just angry yesterday, so that could have been what I was. But there's a moment where I had to explain to my mother because I don't talk to my mom, but it's one of those things that like really really it popped up yesterday while I was like angry. It just popped up in my head. It was one of those things that like definitely popped up in my head. There were a couple of things that popped up in my head while this was going on. And this is, and I don't normally hold on to past stuff. I normally just leave it alone, but we all forget. God forgives us no matter what we did. God forgives us as long as we're stating His word and all that. But I said to her something yesterday. I was like, the reason, and I wasn't being facetious or anything. This is something that came up. My sister had two children, okay? I think I was supposed to have a child at one point. I have one right now. I don't get to see because you know, her mom and everything just decided to ditch on me. And again, going back to what I said, it happened around that time where God asked of my it happened around the time of my testimonies where God had asked me, "Who do you want to survive?" And I said down on top of my family. So at the same time, they all got pulled out. We all got pulled apart, and I walked in like that's literally why I can't connect with my family right now because of that testimony. Um, I think that was God's way of saying, "Hey, you know what? You need me more than anything. Let me pull you away from your family and everybody that feels like they need your love. I need you to pay attention to me because I'm gonna need you for something." Or just God just wanted me to really, really get to know Him and all that. And it was a blessing and a curse at the same time. So, but my sister had a son, and the son came out. This is how I have a feeling she stole one of my blessings away from me, and that's probably another reason God pulled us apart. But my sister had a second son, and the son came out where he had like a bunch of complications in his life. And I told my mom, I was like, "You realize that your second grandson has all those complications because you guys stole a blessing from me." And, she didn't respond back, but that's usually how it works. You steal somebody's blessing or you do something like that, you're gonna get cursed. That's just how it works. And, I've been trying to get my mom to understand this stuff for years, but my mom doesn't like to listen to God or anything God says. And, the problem with people is they're so wanting to be amongst people that they will do anything to appease everybody. And that's why my people, the people I'm friends with right now, and the people that like me now, we're all very much similar. We're all a bunch of outcasts that, like, we pick on each other, we give each other a hard time, but we're all outcasts and we all get along because we're just all outcasts. And it's incredible it's incredibly awesome that I have that I'm that I finally found people that are just like me, outcasts, that are just doing whatever and not really trying to appease to people. And it's one of the most awesome things. Like especially when you're like me and you don't have those people to talk to. You'll run into them eventually, and that's what's going on right now. Is all those people that are outcasts, they're all getting attracted into me because I prayed to God to bring people into my life, you know, and and now I have people coming into my life that are outcasts. And if you're an outcast, you know how it feels to not be accepted into the world because you're so busy doing your own thing and you don't fall into the worldly stuff. And that's why, like, what this is said right here, atoning oil, that's a punishment from God saying, hey, if this oil ends up on anybody else, I'm cutting them off from their people. So, and that's where my family didn't understand the punishment that they were going to receive, and they still fight. They still act like they're supposed to be talking to me and stuff. But yet, anytime I talk to them, this is one thing I noticed anytime I talk to my mother. My heart gets hardened, and then I become mean with her. And that's what I'm going through right now. And people will be like, well, you're mean to your mom. No, I'm not exactly mean to my mom. I've tried forgiving my mom 5 times over already. And any time I do, it's the same exact thing. I end up getting really furious with her. And that's a sign that God doesn't want me to. That's a sign of God not wanting me to connect with my family or be around my family. It's pretty simple to understand when you're reading the Bible. That's why I say I listen to God very well. If I'm not trying to connect with my mother, I'm not getting pissed off I'm not getting mad all the time. I'm not getting mad. Lord, please forgive me for those words. But that's just how it goes. If you think I'm weird for not connecting with my mom, or you think I'm a jerk or whatever, there's a reason I don't connect with my mother very well. And it's God doing it to me because my mom wants people to love her. My mom doesn't rely on God. My mom doesn't rely on Jesus. My sister's the same way. My whole entire family is like that. I'm the only one in my family who who had that who had that testimony when you hear it happen to me. And there's a reason. And it's because God knows that all of those people that were once in my life, they they really, really want me to love them over God. They want me to care about them over God. And that's why, like, when it comes down to it, that's why most people become outcast because they don't, you know, I believe, I'm going to say this. I believe anybody that's an outcast is really, really blessed by God. You are part of God's people. You are the outcasts in the world. And and that's why I like some of the people I do. That's why, like, there are certain people I want to stream with, particularly because they're just all outcasts, and that's why I choose them. Particularly, if I can see that you're an outcast, we'll be friends. We'll be good friends, and we might argue, but we'll still be friends. And that's part of, like, why I choose. That's why I fall into the group of people I do. There's a few out there I really see that I think I know I'd get along with just because they're outcasts, and I believe they pulled themselves away from everything because they too were in a spot like me. And when you pull yourself away from everything, you are chosen. It's because you had a feeling that God wanted you to walk away from the group you were a part of or the people you were a part of. And that's why, like, most of the time, like, it's really hard to explain. And if you're having trouble making people happy, which I do all the time, I have trouble making people happy, and I have a lot of people just disliking me. You are chosen by God. You are going to be an outcast for the rest of your life, and that's a God. That's how you know God's pulled you away from everybody. And it's serious. Like, and it's not that God's mad at you. He just really, really likes you, and he chose you for a reason. And just remember that. That's why, like, That's why when I read the Bible and all that, I have all these blessings happen to me. And anybody that's an outcast, this is gonna be Gnosis. This I feel like I should give this church, this little prayer book reading, a different name because again, I'm an outcast. I like outcast. Anybody that usually comes to me is an outcast. See a trend? God's outcast church. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna change it to that, but like if I ever get to the point where I build a church, I'm gonna call it God's outcast church because you know what? God likes outcasts. God likes us, and God has blessed us with incredible things, even though the worldly people give us such disrespect. So, all right. So we're on to the golden. No, we're not on to the golden calf. Sorry. Uh, if I have time, I'll read 32. I don't know yet. Well, I'm not. Okay, so I'm not fully and 100% an outcast. I'm amongst people. Yeah, that's what I mean by it. It's a form of a statement. Like I'm not trying to condemn myself, but I always been that person out of everybody I know who's always been, you know, like even if I had a set of friends, I would still be, yeah, okay. God's chosen uh people. God's chosen people. All right. So the ones that are chosen by God are usually the ones that are by themselves. They, you know, and it's that's why I said it the way I did. Um, it's very hard to explain it without saying, you know, it's very hard to explain it without saying you're an outcast, and what I mean, it's good. It's good, it's not a bad term when I say it. It's one of those things that like there's something good, okay? So when you say the word outcast, it depends on how you look at it. But every time I say the word outcast, I'm like, okay, that's a cool person right there. That is one really cool person. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that I've noticed amongst people and my friends is that like the day came when I got older and people started genuinely just disliking me, and you know I've always felt like there was some bigger purpose for me. I've always felt it, and I've always felt different than most people, and that could have just been God flowing through me. And if you've ever felt like completely different from everybody, oh, I'm fine. I'm just sitting here explaining how I'm explaining how it feels to be selected by God. Okay. I'm explaining that. I'm not I'm not like going down or anything like that. First of all, I'm not trying to, by any means talking about anything bad here. I'm talking everything I'm saying is good. I'm just trying to explain the way I'm trying to explain it best that we are chosen people by God because we are, you know, the word outcast, yes, I know it comes. Well, trust me, man. I don't please everybody. I go to work, man. I mean, I don't have friends here in Orlando, Florida. The people I talk to are in Discord and all that. So I'm not pleasing everybody. Um, but just understand I know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to make it into anything. So, um, but I'm gonna continue on here. All right. I'm not gonna give my Discord out, man. I just don't want people going in there. That's all. It's a Discord that I have built directly for me, and I don't really like to invite people in there too often because that's pretty much what it's for. Um, when I build a bigger Discord, everybody will know about it. So, uh, Bay Bazel and oh Bell. I can't pronounce that. Okay, but I'm gonna try my best. Then the Lord said to Moses, "See, I have chosen Bazel, your son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, and I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with the wisdom, with understanding and knowledge, and with all kinds of skills, to make artistic design for work in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut and set stone, to work in wood, to engage in all kinds of crafts. Moreover, I have appointed Abdul Elabal, the son of Asamekah, of the tribe of Dan, to help him. Also, I have given the ability to all the skilled workers to make everything I have command you, the tent of meeting, the ark of the covenant law with the atonement cover on it, and all the all the other furnishings of the tent, the table of the articles, the pure gold lampstand, and all the accessories, the altar of incense, the altar of burnt offering, and all its utensils, the basin with its stand, and also the woven garments, but the sacred garment for Aaron the priest, and the garment of his sons when they serve as priests, and the atoning oil and fragrant incense for the holy place. They are to make them just as I command you. So, all right, the Sabbath. What time is it right now? So I might have a little bit of time. I might actually consider reading the golden calf. I don't know yet. The Sabbath. Then the Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, you must observe my Sabbath. This will be a sign between me and you for the generations to come. So you may know that I am the Lord who makes you holy. Observe the Sabbath because it is holy to you. Anyone who desecrates it is to be put to death. Those who do any work on that day must be cut off from their people for 6 days. For 6 days work is to be done, but the seventh day is a day of Sabbath, holy to the Lord. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath day is to be put to death. The Israelites are to observe the Sabbath, celebrating it for the generations to come, as a lasting covenant. It will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever, for in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth. On the seventh day he rested and refreshed. When the Lord finished speaking to Moses on Mount Sinai, he gave him the 2 tablets of the covenant law, the tablets of stone inscribed by the finger of God. So, God wanted a lot of stuff done for this temple. It looks like it's gonna go pretty good. Do I want to read 32, the golden calf, or wait till later? I think I'll wait till later, but I do want to talk about some things. So, just think about, it's cool to think about that, like, by the time, so after this book released, this book, the Holy Bible, was literally like this. It was just a small book like this. And then over the course of time, it ended up, like, being exactly this big book. That's what's wild to think about. Because by the time that one's done, by the time you're done with that, it just really, really, it really, really is just, it's pretty wild to think about. Pretty wild to think about. So, all right. So, I'll be reading the rest of this later on today. If you have time, stop in. Feel free to listen, whatever. But yes, there's a certain way I do things around here, certain way I say things that, I do them because that's the best way to explain them. I'm not going to sit here and try to justify why I was wrong or right. But, I have people coming in here just telling me how to do things, it's not very cool. And It's not something that was very fun for anybody to do, is come in here and correct anything that I'm doing. I'm doing things the best way possible, and I'm doing things through God. So please do not come in here expecting me to follow your rules and your orders, because that's not what God wants me to do here. Okay? Um, but understand, I'm doing things a certain way because there are some people like this guy here, asking about my Discord, and he showed something about himself that was very, he was correcting me. All right, you don't come in here to correct me. You don't get what you want that way. Even if you are nice, I'm still not letting you into a Discord because you don't belong there. But we have to understand, this isn't for anybody to come in here and correct me how to do things. I said outcast, and I'm going to keep saying outcast because that's what God likes. That's what we are. All right. So just understand, I'm not going to invite anybody into a Discord until I actually build one. So, but so we have to understand. All right, I'm blocking you because you're correcting me. You're getting blocked. Do not come in here anymore and try to correct me, please, because you're doing something that isn't. Nobody here is supposed to be doing. You came here to listen and not correct me, so you're getting blocked. All right, this whole corrective business, you're not meant to do that here in this Discord. That's something that people get blocked for. All right, you're getting banned. All right, I just had to ban him because he was so busy correcting me. All right, don't come in here correcting me and telling me how to do things here, because you're not gonna be in here very long. Okay, that's not what that's not what this stream is for. All right, I have these kids coming up to me wanting to be part of this, but yet they'll sit there and they'll correct me, and that's why he just got banned. Please do not correct me when it comes down to this, because this is not your stream. You don't tell me how to do stuff. And second, God's, I'm here reading the Bible to you guys. Just listen and listen to what I have to say. I don't know why people come in here telling me how to do stuff. It's extreme. It's over the top and extreme that somebody like him thought he could come in here and correct me. All right, first of all, I'm not putting up with that. I grew this myself. I don't need anybody's help. The only help I want is the people that are my friends. And to sit there and act like he was going to get into a Discord I'm in. No, dude, go away. Go away. Stop trying to command stuff. Stop trying to command people how to do stuff. Stop telling me what to do. This is not your stream. And that's why right now my heart is hardened, because God told me not to put up with his nonsense. Okay? That's why my heart got hardened, because of this guy. Because God told me not to put up with this nonsense. Now, don't come in here expecting to tell me how to do stuff, because I'm not going to listen to you worldly people. You guys think you can come in here and tell people what to do. All right? It's nonsense. Why would you do that? Why would you tell people how to do stuff? Especially when they're the one reading to you. You come in here telling me like you're my boss, I'm kicking you out, because you're not my boss. And if anybody ever met you, they'd probably put you in your place. Trust me, the people I talk to in Discord don't like that either. They don't like seeing people put me down and try to correct me. That's why I have the people around me I do. To come in here and literally sit here and tell me how to handle this stream, you are going against God, and my heart will be hardened, and I will go against you, and I will shut you down. Do not tell me how to run the stream, please. That's all you guys got to understand. He came in here, and he was so demanding of stuff that you can't tell people what to do here. That right there is a rule against God. You're not my king. You're not God. So leave me alone and stop telling me what to do. Go back to your daily life and go back to your job. Pretty plain and simple to understand. If you have a problem with me, You have a problem with something I'm doing, take that up with God. I'm not here to listen to you. I'm here to I'm here to say the word. And this guy here thought he was gonna get into the Discord and everything. That's how I automatically know when some people come in here that they're not trying to be fans. Some people that come in here, they're just trying to go in and ruin whatever you have going on. That's pretty plain and simple, and that's how that goes. For some reason, you know, he was trying to tell me that don't use the word outcast. Dude, I'm going to use the word outcast because you know what? Outcast is a cool word, and people and God likes the outcast. You know, to sit there and tell me God doesn't like to sit there and tell me that's a bad word. You're sensitive. First of all, you're sensitive, okay? Second, you don't tell people what to do. All right? The second he told me not to say outcast, I knew I knew that I was going to let it go for a little bit. And when he started when he started saying, "No, you're close to learning, but you're just a little off." That's when I had to correct him. That's when I knew he was in here trying to correct everything I'm saying, because he's probably one of those people that, yes, he goes to church, but he goes about things a certain way. And you know what? I've come come pretty far for not listening to people like him. I've come pretty far. You know, I listen. You know, the people in Discord, the people that I talk with in Discord, they praise me for doing some of the stuff I do, even though they pick on me too. But this is just some food for thought. If you do this again, if anybody does this here, I will ban you because you're not coming in here correcting me. There needs to be, I need to find a way to put rules up because this is just insane that people come in here and try to do that to me. Is there a rule and guideline thing that I need to find out if there's a rule and guideline thing to put up for these people that come in here, because I've had to ban like 5 people already in the recent couple weeks. Then it's all because they think they're coming in here and trying to tell me how to do stuff, trying to tell me how to do stuff while reading the Bible off to you guys. And you know, that correctionist mentality, I don't like that. I don't like that because that don't get you very far in life. All right, that don't get you very far with somebody like me. Your correctionist ideals, they're invalid to me because you're not the one sitting there reading the Bible. All right, you're not the one sitting there praising God. And that's where I had a problem with them. That's where I have a problem with people that do sit there and they tell me how to run this stream. All right? I don't like that. I don't like that. Nobody is to do that to me. All right? Especially in my stream, running my program. If he thought he was going to get power over me, trust me, my heart, when he said, don't call yourself an outcast, I'm like, my heart got hardened. My heart got hardened at that point in time. And I was trying to make a valid point after that without him coming back in and saying anything. And he's just like, well, you're learning, no, you're not here to correct me. All right? You're not here to correct anybody. If anybody is here with me, I'm just going to assure you they're not telling me what to do. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. And what I mean by that is the people that I'll probably have on here at some point, they're people that aren't correcting me. They have never felt the need to correct me, except for when it comes to, certain standards of relationship stuff, because that's where I struggle the most. But, just take this as a consideration that going around and correcting people is not a good look for you. It's not, and it won't work for you, especially in my domain. So, and this is a domain of God. God is here. God put his holy word out there for you. So, it's a shame I had to do that, but this is like the 5th time I had to ban somebody because they were so busy either correcting me or trying to get, I understand you want to be a part of my fan base and all that, but when you come in here and you're correcting what it is I'm doing, I'm not going to put up with that, first of all. I'm not gonna put up with that. Second, if you see me doing anything weird like following OnlyFans, and you tell me that I'm following them, and you feel like I should get rid of them because I'm not doing stuff for God, I'll do it. I'll do it just because that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. And I'm not saying that about anybody particularly, but myself. I want to do things in a manner that's going to get me closer to God, raise me up from where I'm at right now. That's why when it comes down to me following OnlyFans, I only follow two, a very very limited OnlyFans following, because I don't watch OnlyFans. I don't partake in that stuff. You know, um, I think sexual intercourse is meant to be private. It's a very privated thing. It should be. It always should be. Like for these OnlyFans, we already see that being naked on a image or a video is something that is sinful. It's a sinful thing. Being naked for any reason on a camera or any reason, it's sinful, man. It's sinful and it's bad. But it's not like a bad. It is a bad sin because we hide it from children. But at the same time, we have to be cautious about stuff. Like that's why, if I was asked to unfollow the two OnlyFans people that I follow, I would do it just because that's something that God would want. Now, people wonder why I'm against that stuff so much because once again, you're not supposed to be having sexual intercourse of any sorts or showing off your body naked of any sorts on any platform. That's why the internet made it so easily to reach that stuff. That's why we're in the boat we're in right now with like everything being of sin, you know, and it's crazy how badly sin has gotten these days. And you can even see here that this guy here, he was telling me what to do by reading, even though I'm reading the Bible, he was telling me what to do. That would be considered as a sin, I would think, because he's telling somebody that has God flowing through him what to do. And this guy here, I don't really know what his deal was, but like I can only tell you he's a very very demanding person, and he expects people to be on his he expects people to do what he says. And when you give him that power, he takes it and he runs with it, and he continues to do that exact thing. That's why when it comes to demanding people, I usually don't bother with them too much because I don't like that kind of stuff. When it comes to people who are like that. That's why when I complain about people, it's people that are very demanding. Again, let's go back to an example earlier where I had my testimony and I got pulled away from my family. My family had been so demanding most of my life that I chose to just literally walk away from it because it's not it's not something God wanted for me. God wanted totally different. You know, God wanted people in my life, but he wanted different people in my life, you know? And that's fine. God wanted us to have certain people in our lives because of who we are, you know? So when you are seeing like, people come into your life and things as such, you really really start to see who your people are because you've came to God, and then you start to separate who you're gonna get close to and who you're not. So again, this goes a lot into my real life, a lot into where I am today, and we see a lot of stuff going on on our internet that is very very. It's when it comes down to it, we see a lot of stuff going on the internet that's very, when it comes down to it, it's very biblical actually. It's scary how biblical it is sometimes. But we see it on the internet. We see, the light of God come down and shake everything up, and then it upsets people and makes things hard for themselves. And, well, no, don't make things hard for themselves, but you see them take action in a manner that's just so ungodly and so unholy that they'll sometimes they even take a person's life over it. you know? And that's why, like, the idea of guns, people argue with me about it all the time. But I legitimately have my reasons for feeling how I feel about them, you know? Why do we need to use an instrument to take a person's life when we could harm them without killing them and then send them off to a prison where they're going to sit for a while and have to suffer? Just think about that. You know, that's why things are the way they are. When a person is doing something bad and they eventually, God catches up to them and they get caught, you know, provided they're, provided they, how do I want to put this? Provided they've suffered enough through God, because God makes you suffer, man. That's why I say God at this point has forgiven me in so many ways that people forget that God forgives me. People forget that God forgives you. So when you're forgetting that God has forgiven people and forgiven you, and you go back and you start more drama with the person that you're mad about from years ago, you're not, God's probably going to teach you a lesson for that one. That's what you don't understand. That's why you don't go around and remember something that happened from like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you have to remember that person's forgiven. And that person, if that person had forgotten about you, it's because God told them to. God told them to forget you because you weren't pulling your side. I had somebody the other day, and I have yet to see them even show up to these streams, but I was supposed to pray for them. They have yet to show up to the streams. Um, but they were like, when they took my number down, they're like, "Don't forget me." And I'm like, I won't forget you. So I texted them a few times already. I'm gonna try one more time. But that just goes to show you where people will say it to me and be the, "Woe is me, feel bad for me," but yet will not put any effort in reverse into the relationships they're trying to build with God and, somebody in the graces of God. That's where they fall short. That's why I'm such an outcast, is because people act like I intentionally forget about them. And the reason I do sometimes walk away and disconnect myself from people is because that's God, what God wants from me. That's because that God, if you're going to keep trying to barge back into my life or anybody's life, and they've disconnected themselves and had forgiven you already, but you keep coming back, and they follow God, somebody like me, and I have to send you messages being like, "Look, stop coming to me to make yourself happy, because I'm not here to do that for you. I'm here to do stuff for God. I'm here to do stuff for myself, be successful, and do what I have to get ahead." But there are people out there that literally don't understand that the way they want things to work. My mother is an example of how she wants people to be around her all the time because she feels alone. She, on a daily basis, she's alone. She's alone. She doesn't even bother consulting God, reading the Bible, doing anything like that. And even when she does, even after she does, there is a way I forgive people, and it is walking away from them, not causing drama with them anymore, and leaving them alone. But if stuff of you shows up in my life, and I'm reminded of you, and you're making, I partly know that she's making the efforts because she talks to people down here, and she had picked up people's numbers, and she somehow got people's information down here, because when I filled out something for work, to workplaces, I had to put her information down. Well, I think she started texting the people around me, and then she'll lie to me and be like, "No, I'm not doing that." And I'm like, "You're lying, man. You're lying to me all the time. You're lying. You're lying over top of a lie." And that is why, like, I just don't talk to her anymore, because the lying is so consistent that she covers up a lie with a lie. It's like snow. When it snows, you see people cover. You see the snow just like piling up, pile it up. That's what it is. Her pile of snow is so high right now that I can't even get to the bottom. That nobody can get to the bottom. It's because she lies because she's worried. Okay, so when you lie due to being worried,
you're gonna keep lying until you bury yourself in snow. And then people aren't gonna put up with that anymore. First of all, don't lie to people you care about. Second, you know, second thing you need to do is if you're lying, you definitely need to consult Jesus Christ and God on that one and get yourself out of that mess. Don't expect people to forgive you. No, but expect people to leave you alone. Expect people to not bother you anymore and move on with your life. You know, if you have kids or if you have family that you you care about, it's, well, how do I want to put this? I can put this in a different terminology, but like, you know, if you push your family away due to, and then also like, when God decided to pull me away from my family, it was a really really interesting experience. But it took some time for it to happen. And I had a feeling it was coming eventually because, I held on to it big time and I didn't put God before anybody. And that was my mistake. And now what everybody else's mistake is they don't put God before everybody. That's why, you won't see me consult my mom about anything anymore, or you won't see me consult my sister because none of those people put God over their family. They will put they won't put God before like even their children, even though God put their children here on earth and gave and blessed them with those children. All right. So my point is don't be so malicious and evil to people. If you really care about them, you have to consult our God. You have to consult Jesus Christ, and you can't keep holding on to people expecting them to stay. If God pulls them away from you, then it's on you to learn why you made that mistake. Because, you know, God wants everybody to acknowledge him. God wants everybody to acknowledge that Jesus Christ existed. But we cannot go about our lives thinking we know everything and thinking we can have whatever we want, because at the end of the day, you ruin a blessing for somebody, you're going to get cursed. My sister's an example of that. My sister got so jealous of me over blessings for the longest time that I remember one time I lost weight because I was such a big kid, and something in me made me feel like I should spend the summer out, riding bicycles and stuff like that and exercising, and I did it. And I lost like a whole bunch of weight. I used to be a big guy, a really really big kid, and then as I got older into my teenage years, I lost an extreme amount. I lost a really good amount of weight, dropped down to 160, went to school, nobody recognized me. I had to remind them of a few things and remind them of who I am, because they were just like, "Who's this weirdo walking up to us? This random guy that like doesn't even look like you anymore." And I'm like, "It's Jason, guys." And well, sorry, I gave away my real name, but that's my real name in reverse. But I like going by No Such. So I'm like, "It's No Such, guys." So, um, but they were like, "What?" And they all shocked. They all looked shocked. And that was interesting. It was an interesting concept right there, because everybody looked at me differently because they saw something in me, a willpower that was unlike anybody else. And I have always had that will to do better with myself, whether it be lose weight, read this Bible, play through video games, stuff like that. I always have that drive to want to do better, and you even will see me do that here on this channel. Is like, I will upload every single day, even if I'm feeling like even if I'm feeling very sick. And I did that when I first started. I think I was like 3 weeks in, and I didn't feel good at all, and I had a headache, and I was like feeling really like weak, but I still managed to wake up, go to work, and do my daily life. And it's just that's the kind of drive I have, where I don't give up on things, because if I give up on something, if I give up on God, God ain't giving me that blessing. God ain't giving me blessings of where I'm at now. If I gave up today and not do anything tomorrow, not stream, I don't think I'd get any subs on the channel. I also think people would be like, well, where's he at? And I think I'd get yelled at by the Discord too. I'd probably get yelled at by some people in the Discord and be given a really, really hard time. And they'll be like, look, get your ass back to work because we need you to do this. We need you to do this. And that's part of where my success comes from. I know that they like seeing me do this. And I know there's a lot of people that are proud of me for doing this. And, God in general has blessed me in a huge way for all of this. Even though there's a lot of people out there that also aren't very fond of what I'm doing. But that's on them. But again, just don't come in here telling me what to do because I'm doing this for God and I'm doing this for myself. If you're telling me what to do and telling me how to learn something, bye-bye. All right. So anyway, that's it. Let's say a prayer today. I don't know what I'm gonna pray for yet, but I'm gonna just say prayers and we're gonna do an outro. So, all right, Lord Jesus Christ, I pray to you today to put some energy, holy energy, in places where it's needed. Lord, I want you to put holy energy in me, a lot of holy energy to bless me, to make me do awesome stuff today, and also keep me reading your word. Lord, put holy energy into streamers like Melanie Mac today. She needs you today because she has a big day ahead of her. Put your holy energy into Brittany Venti. She probably needs you today. And anybody else that is amongst them that needs you, I send you to their way. And also, Lord, put that holy energy in me because I really need it too. I got a big day ahead of me. And Lord, also, bless those who need to be blessed today. Bless them, protect their blessings. Make sure you're protecting blessings, Lord, because I've witnessed so many blessings that you gave me be taken from me. So Lord, if somebody is taking a blessing from me or anybody that deserves a blessing, show them that they shouldn't be doing it and teach them in a way and make sure that blessing still goes to them, Lord, because because the blessings I get and the blessings people get, especially me, I've noticed in my life people getting jealous of your blessings you send to me. So Lord, send me the blessings and make sure you're protecting them and make sure people are not affecting them, Lord. Make sure people aren't affecting other people's blessings. Make sure people aren't if somebody gets a blessing today, or if they're struggling to get your blessing, send them another blessing that they'll get on top of it. Send them, if that one blessing don't work, keep sending them blessings, Lord, because they deserve it, and I know I deserve it. And Lord, protect everything you do today. Protect it with a very thick barrier that's impenetrable for a long time. And also, Lord, anybody that's affecting your blessings or trying to harden people's heart or sitting here correcting people, Lord, make sure you put a Bible in their hand and make sure they understand they have to come back to you. In Jesus' name, amen. So there you go. There you have it. That's it for now. I'll be back later on today. I'm trying to come back at around 5 o'clock or so earlier than normal because I have some stuff that I want to check out on my own. And besides that, have a good day. God bless you. And I'll be uploading a short here soon. So take it easy.